All right. Melanie's joining me for ways women destroy their sex life with their partner.
Yeah.
And these are not in any order, okay? I want to be very clear. There's no one that's more important. We could argue that point for hours.
Oh,
because,
everyone's situation is going to be different.
Right.
And maybe one thing is being neglected more than another. So how do you really determine?
Exactly. We're going to start with faking orgasms.
Ladies, if he's not getting you there, if he's not doing what is needed to help you get there, because you're responsible for it, not him. But he needs to know.
Yeah, and faking it isn't being kind. It's actually being cruel. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You received no sex education as a young person.
Yeah.
I received no sex education as a young person. Putting on a condom is not sex education. Okay?
No. A Dear Abby pamphlet, which is the extent of mine from my mother.
But what was the best part about that pamphlet?
Oh, she had the entire section on masturbation whited out.
Okay, yeah. And nobody taught you how to give good oral. So again, things that and this goes to something that affects both the man and the woman in the relationship, the lack of sexual knowledge and the ability to talk about sex.
Yeah.
You got to work on that. Okay. Number 2, and I hear this a lot, women refusing to go on date nights.
That one really blows me away, because if he's trying to do something for the relationship to help you two of you connect, why are you refusing?
Yes, and men, it's your job to plan the date nights. I had a whiny guy go, why do we have to make all the changes? You get to lead the romance department and the relationship. Don't complain about it. Embrace it. And the reality is, planning date night means getting a babysitter, gentlemen, planning the date, and understand that women, you need to say yes to date nights. When you've got a newborn, let's just say still in a carrier, you can take the baby with you on date night. Date night does not mean sex. Date night is a time to grow connection and intimacy. And that leads to number 3, staying in mom mode.
Yeah, you gotta let that go some.
You are a woman. You need to relax into your feminine. And men, she's going to need some help on that. Okay? Yeah. I'm assuming high-valued men, because that's what we work with. I don't work with the bottom tier because they don't think they need to improve. Okay? But when I have high-level men trying to do things and be the best partner, they don't complain about being the container for the feminine. We see less feminine storms, but we've got to get her a space where she can relax into the feminine, because it's not easy.
No, because when we're trying to do it on our own, and just the language that I used around that is making me cringe because of a conversation I've been having with a colleague. Doing is not relaxing into the feminine. And so, but when we're trying to do it on our own without the help of a man who is a partner who is helping with that.
And planning the date nights and giving the opportunity for her to relax into being feminine, to being the container for that feminine energy, and not having any expectations. And understand, when you got a little one in the house, this is extremely difficult, and it is what it is. The most damaging thing to a marriage is a child.
Yeah.
We can talk about how wonderful they are and everything else. But it is it causes a lot of divorces.
It does.
It causes a lot of problems. It destroys what was working great, because everything changes, and that's normal. You've got to work through that. You've got to be there for her. Okay. 4, I want to go on to the next one. For ladies, not prioritizing or valuing the importance of your sex life, both for you and the relationship.
So if you're not prioritizing it, I mean, and then we'll talk about some more of this in a minute, but you need to, go have a health examination. You need to figure out what is it that makes you not want to prioritize that, because if it's just bad sex, then
you can work on
that. You can fix that.
And I think a guy I'm sure a lot of them would get bent out of shape. But if they really wanted to improve and please their partner, they would look into it. Again, toys are a
Yeah.
wonderful thing, not just for her. Guys, sometimes you need time between round 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. And sometimes toys are just, it's a toy day. Anyhow.
Yeah, there's so much that you can do with toys and aids, and honestly the mental game part of it is so huge.
Yeah.
So I would like to address the 5th one.
Okay.
Because you got told the other day you were mansplaining to someone.
Oh, this is going to sound terrible, to a woman who didn't know what she was talking about.
She did not know what she was talking about. And, of course, the 5th one is not seeking help or looking into HRT for perimenopause or menopause-related symptoms. That could also include, if you have PCOS, things like that. Those are things that you need to look into, and that's why I said a health examination, so that you can get the hormonal issues resolved, because it doesn't only play with our sex drive, but our moods and our entire personalities.
Well, and the health risks associated with not being on HRT, and if you don't go on within 10 years of menopause, it increases some risk, but it actually reduces cardiac event. There's all sorts of health issues. So the Women's Health Initiative in 2002, there were false reports that HRT increased breast cancer. And there was a subset of a subset that saw a little spike. But it was like saying out of the, and I'm using this as an example, we had 100,000 women. The 100 that already had breast cancer who did this had a 2% increase. But that was all that was reported, not the fact that 99,900 saw longer lives and the cardiac rate go down and actually save lives. And I was told until I go through menopause, I shouldn't talk on it. So that eliminates all male doctors, and all female doctors who haven't gone through it yet.
Oh, right? Which would mean that the nurse practitioner that I'm seeing for my stuff, she shouldn't be talking to me about it, but she knows a lot. And
which is an exception.
Which is an exception. You've got to look and hunt down the people that are educated in this stuff. But the thing is, and I have to say, I am very grateful to you that you have been such a huge part of the learning process with me, because and this is something that men, maybe you should take a page out of Dennis's book here, because he has gone to seminars, he has read books, he has done all of this stuff along with me, because he's essentially going through it too, in a different way. Yeah. He's along for the roller coaster ride.
It's a different roller coaster ride for me. And when you do this work, man, and you've leveled up, it's a lot easier to do this. And the reality is, I want to be very clear, if we look at the medical community as a whole, 90 to 95% of them are worthless when it comes to this area.
Yeah.
They don't have any knowledge of it. They were never taught anything. They refuse to learn. They're still going off of the O2, report that said it increases breast cancer, and they just...
Which they've got the conflicting reports sometime in the last 5 years.
In the last 5 years, it was completely brought out that was 100% wrong.
And if you want more information on that, go follow Mary Claire Haver, because there's a lot of really good information there.
And the reality is, while men have the luxury of only having testosterone being the main, there's some other stuff, but basically the main hormone that drops with age.
We've got multiple. And there's 3 common ones, but then there's some others too, So we've got a bunch, and it's not a 24-hour cycle. They're all raising and falling at different times throughout a 28-day cycle.
28 different women you get to be with, guys. Because
that's a really good way to look at it, because you can have a different one.
14 of them are fun. The other 14 but the reality is, understanding this, and for you, learning and understanding, I'm feeling like crap. I wonder if it's because I didn't, and then making an adjustment. And you, right before we recorded this, You're on the phone with your nurse practitioner, working up a plan to try to go to prescription cream and make a change instead of going with over-the-counter kind of mad scientist. But ladies, you're going to have to become a mad scientist.
There's a period of time toward the beginning where your hormones aren't measuring crazy different, but you're feeling different.
Okay, and why this is so important, and this isn't the intent of the video, but I want to take 30 to 40 seconds, start naming symptoms of perimenopause. Brain fog.
Nausea.
Achy joints.
Itchy ears.
Belly fat on the midsection, even though no diet or no exercise has changed.
Sleep disturbances.
Oh, yeah. The hot mouth.
Yeah, that's a weird one. You get hot feet.
One.
You get, the hot
flashes,
but
flashes.
cold flashes too.
Yeah.
There's so many things that happen, and you kind of go, wait, is this a thing with peri?
Tinnitus, the ringing in the ears.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, so here's the thing. And in Mary Claire Haver's book, she really addresses. We got women going to all sorts of specialists, and they're like, everything's fine, we don't know. When you start having multiple symptoms and you can't really pin it down, it's time to start looking at the hormones. Average age of perimenopause, is it 42-ish?
So 42 is when they've really started noticing it, but symptoms start earlier than that before you realize.
And you could have early perimenopause in your 30s. And then menopause, again, it's that 52 to 54. But again, early menopause is a thing. Your results may vary. And so don't be afraid to start going, hey, I wonder if it's this. And if you figure out that you've got a little challenge with this and your doctor doesn't want to do HRT, or dismisses that it is perimenopause or menopause, you need a new healthcare provider.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
So these are 5 ways women destroy a couple's intimate life. And don't worry, we're going to do one on what men do to destroy it too. I always get that complaint when I do these. Of course. Our contact information will be down below. Feel free to reach out. And men, reach out to me. Ladies,
I'm starting a perimenopause and menopause support group. So reach out if you're interested in that as well.
Yes, that's going to meet weekly?
Weekly for the first
3 weeks,
3
of every
weeks
month?
of every month on Saturdays.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later.